What's up, everybody? We're back again with another episode of STEAMRolled. My name's Derek.
And I'm Todd.
And today we're going to be doing a interview over Marvel Heroes. Now, Todd put a lot of time into this before, came back again just to review it. He's been playing a little bit. I've been playing a little bit less, but, you know, you get the idea. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it with my first question. What's the gameplay like?
Alright, so the gameplay is a lot like all other action RPGs, really. I mean, you can throw out, names out there like Path of Exile, Diablo, but it's unique in its own way. It's got talent trees for the character. Each character is pretty unique to, and more or less true to the characters from Marvel. So, it's pretty cool.
Alright, well, give me what do you like about the game? You know, key features that you like about this game in relation to, Diablo or other games.
Well, what I like about it is that you can relate to the characters. It's not just some nameless hero, it's someone that you've grown up with.
Childhood heroes, yeah.
And as far as dislikes, there's really not much that I dislike about it, other than probably the biggest change would be when I played this on release, you could find heroes whenever the game came out. But since then, they've incorporated a Eternity Splinter system where you would find a splinter roughly every 8 minutes, and it would take 400 to 600 on average to unlock new heroes now. And being that they did that, characters don't drop anymore.
Okay,
yeah,
so that's probably just to incorporate people to play more.
Right. I mean, it gives you some. It actually does give you something to do.
Objective to do always. Yeah.
Right. It actually makes you want to come back and put the time in. It's one of the aspects for keeping you.
Alright, well, since we're talking about heroes and stuff, let's go ahead and give me a rundown on the cash shop. Can you buy heroes, skins, what's there to do with real money in this game?
Alright, as far as real money's concerned, like I said before, with the Eternity Splinters, you can actually unlock all the heroes just by playing for free, so it's not really a pay-to-win thing. It's just, if you want a certain hero right away, you're a little impatient.
Gotta put time in.
Yeah. You either put time in or you put a little bit of money in, and it's great to support the game because it's a good game. As far as the cash shop's concerned, heroes would cost anywhere from 900 to 1450 of their currency, which the exchange rate on that is roughly 100 to $1. You can buy at $5, $10, $20
intervals. Okay,
right.
So 1450 would cost around 15 bucks roughly.
Right.
Okay.
But if you actually spend $20, you get the extra 100.
The extra, yeah.
So that's when they start adding in extras when you pay more.
Okay. Well, what else can you buy besides champions? There's skins.
Yeah. There's tons of skins for characters. Some of the characters only have a couple, obviously, because they haven't been in the game that long. However, there are other characters like Iron Man, for example, who has a bajillion, including the Hulkbuster,
all the way to 13. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This has got all those, so it's pretty cool. They also got the Guardians of the Galaxy in here too.
Alright, well, what would be your favorite hero? Who do you play the most right now?
Alright, so it's kind of a toss-up because when I originally played the game, I played Punisher because I love the character and
the backstory,
Yeah, the gameplay itself was pretty good with him. He was a pretty solid character for a while. He's kind of fallen a little flat. He's still good, but he's fallen a little flat in my eyes. I like Gambit a lot. He's my new go-to character. He's got a lot of potent AoE power and single target, so that maneuverability. So it's a tie right now.
All right, well, let's see. If you could throw in a new hero or villain, give me a name. Who would you like to see enter this game?
Oh man, there's so many.
Yeah. There's a big choice.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see Carnage pop up as a villain, which would mean they would most likely have to incorporate kind of like a Spider-Man arc, because anytime they have the villains, they actually have them from each, respective area, like Kingpin's in the city.
Right.
And there's storyline that ties in with that, with like Elektra and Bullseye.
Okay.
So they would actually have to incorporate Carnage with, Spider-Man and Venom in some way, shape, or form.
All right, while we're talking about this, I did want to ask you, are there any actual playable villains right now, or is it mostly just heroes?
Right now, I believe it's all heroes. However, there has been, constant talk of villains.
Of adding villains in for playable characters?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll ever do it. I think probably what would be smarter would be come out with a new game entirely, money-wise.
Marvel villains?
Marvel villains, yeah. It would be a great idea.
Alright, well, say you're playing Gambit and you have a friend that plays Gambit, right?
Yeah.
What can you do to set your Gambit apart from his Gambit?
Change your skin? I mean, that's the most obvious.
I mean, the play style. I mean, the talent trees. Go into that. Let me hear a little bit about that.
All right. So the talent trees with Gambit, for example, He has the kinetic tree, which is all the card explosions that you get to see around, and he also has like a melee style tree. And I can't remember the third tree. I think it's mostly passive buffs that kind of tie in with either or.
Okay.
And each hero has a couple different movement types. You see, you'll probably see me rolling around on Gambit, and there's some flashing and blinking of other characters. Some characters fly. But yeah, I mean, you can separate yourself from everyone else by trying different builds. Just play whatever you think is best, because it's all up to playstyle, unless you get really hardcore into it, which they're incorporating the rating thing and all that. So I don't even know if it's in yet. I haven't got to experience it.
All right. Well, since we're talking about it, go ahead and tell me, what do you know about the end game? What is your knowledge on that so far?
All right. So far, as far as the end game's concerned, you would hit cap level, and previously in the old version, you would have nothing to do really. I mean, you would be grinding on terminals. Now you have the option of terminals. You have Midtown Madness, I think it is, or Midtown Mayhem.
All right.
Which is just, you would go to a cityscape, and every 3 minutes approximately, bosses will spawn up and explode and loot. Just amazingness.
Right.
And it's almost too much. I leave most of the things on the ground anyway. But there's that. You have the X defense, where you defend the X-Men Academy from multiple waves, and the further you get, the better the rewards. They have the Holo Sim, which is meant for 1 to 2 people, where you basically fight off waves with just a couple people, and it's not all about direct fighting. There's rescuing hostages and fighting off sentinels and things like that. It's actually pretty rough.
All right. Well, go ahead. Let me know. Would you recommend this game to a friend? Would you play it yourself again? Do you plan to continue playing it? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm still playing it. Actually, I plan on still playing it regardless of whatever happens. Because after coming back, like I said, there's so much to do. Between collecting the new Odin marks, you have tag teams to unlock, you have more characters to unlock. There's just so much that you can do and unlock and mess around with, that it's got a lot of replayability. So yeah.
And does it get pretty regularly updated too?
Oh yeah,
updates.
Constantly. The whole period in which I wasn't playing, I was actually getting constant emails about new content updates, new patch.
Yeah, right.
So
okay.
It's really impressive for a free-to-play game to actually have all this, all the content coming out. And they frequently have weekend events where they'll buffer rates of drops and experience gains and things like that. So they're really playing towards being crowd pleasers.
All right. Well, give me your final rating on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you rate this game?
1 to 10. It's kind of hard not to see that. Like, think back to when I originally played it. Yeah,
right.
I hit the end game and there was nothing to do. So I can't give it a perfect 10, but I'm gonna go with an 8, because while it's not necessarily for everyone, it's still really fun, and it brings the nostalgia factor in. So that's got a lot to play with it. So I'd say 8 out of 10. All
right. Well, 8 out of 10. You heard it here, guys. That'll be about the end of this video, so, like, subscribe if you want to see more of it. You got anything else you want to say before we end it out?
Play Marvel Heroes 2015.
Villains?
Marvel Villains 2016 incoming.
All right. Well, see you guys.
Take it easy, guys.